All right, I'd like to call order the regular city council meeting on February 3rd, 2025 at 6 o'clock p.m. Madam Secretary, do we have a quorum?
Yes, sir, we do.
Next, please.
Invocation given by Pastor James Gilbert with Fame Mission Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance to the American and Texas flags.
Please rise.
Let us bow. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for another day that we can come together and work on the planning for the City of Fate. We thank you for a new administration time frame that we can go through and start in this country. Help us as a City of Fate to recognize what's on the plate for the next few years, the next few months as we go forward. Bless the City Council tonight. Help us to understand that we're to be mindful of trespasses. You said, forgive us of our trespasses as we forgive those. So, Lord God, I pray that our thoughts, words, and deeds, anyone that has thoughts, words, and deeds against us, that we would let them fall on the ground. And we give you praise in the precious name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. All right, thank you. Next, please.
3A, to recognize Samantha Harris-Me for achieving Texas Registered Municipal Clerk certification. Awkward little, but it's fine.
All right, Michael, we'll let you take over quickly.
Vicky is sick. She's our city secretary. And so I will just give Samantha some congratulations. It's quite a course. It takes about 3 years. And we've been good about, y'all been good about budgeting for that sort of, for those classes and requirements. There's homework, all sorts of things that have to be done. So we just want to say thank you to everybody and congratulations to Samantha.
Thank you all for letting me go through the course.
Yeah. And we hope Vicky we hope Vicky gets better soon.
We do, yes. Sending her well wishes. Item 3B, the Government Financial Officers Association Distinguished Budget Presentation Award.
All right, Raju and Teresa. Good try. All right. The Government Finance Officer Association is pleased to announce that City of Fate, Texas received the GFOA Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for its budget. The award represents a significant achievement by the entity and reflects the commitment of a governing body and staff to meet the highest standards of government budget and accounting, and also to receive the budget award. The entity has to satisfy nationally recognized guidelines for effective budget presentation. These guidelines are designed to assess how an entity budget serves as a policy document, financial plans, operational guidance, and a communications plan. I just want to tell you guys thank you. This is about the 8th year in a row. I think I remember 7th year in a row you guys got this award, and it's a lot of hard work, and it's greatly appreciated. You guys answer our questions very quickly. I'm always impressed by your ability to predict tax rate within 1,000th of 1 cent. That's good. That's a good thing. I'm just proud of you guys. You guys do a really great job, so thank you.
Can you just bring it in a little bit? Oh. All right, bring it in a little closer. All right, 1, 2, 3, cheese. And I got a couple good ones.
Next, please.
Item 4, public comment. We do have one public comment form for Miss Emma Jean Smith of 428 Nature Point Court.
All right. Well, welcome, and thank you for speaking tonight.
Good evening, everyone. We are new to the community. We've been here, my husband and I, retired veteran, 22 years in Vietnam War. serve 2 branches. It'll be 2 years, October 6th, that we moved here, and we love it over here. So we want to get more involved in the community and do things. He's a retired, also in the military engineer. And so some of the questions, and just a couple questions I had. We live over in Wood Creek. Nice area, but the question that I have, I'd like to know, can we have different things, because it's a floodplain over there. They're doing part 2 now, division part 2. We over there on part 2 of this here, housing. There is nothing over there, no pond, no playground. We do have children over there. We live in a cul-de-sac, and just in my cul-de-sac, they have little ones there. No pets, nothing. I did ask Wood Creek, why can't we have something over there? You have a walking trail. You have all these houses. We all have pets and everything, but it's nothing for the children to do. Although my kids is grown, my grandkids are not here, but the other kids in the community. And if we can have a pond or a walking trail, something for the pets and everything. Whoever, they done changed management like 3 times, and they're out of Dallas, and I'd like to know, why do these property management companies have to be out of Dallas? Can we control stuff in our own community or our county? The answer was, well, the developer has finished what they needed to do, and they're not going to do nothing else, and that's it. Kind of rude. The other question I asked them, where is our HOA money going in? Shouldn't our HOA money, if that's the case, if the developers are done, well, can our HOA money help out? And they told me they didn't have but $1,200 in their account. And I was like, how you gonna have that if you're charging $600 a year? And just say 10 homes, that's over $60,000, so where's our money going? So these are some of the concerns that I have, and moving forward, we're getting another community over there, and then the idea, I think the law just passed that it used to be 10 feet from building, and now it's 5, and I just think that's too close. I used to do development. I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, so I've done development and stuff. That's too close to touch each other. Our homes over here is $500,000 plus, so I don't want to be that close to my neighbor. And that's really, my husband and I, we was, discussing that. So those are some of the questions that I have and would like to see maybe some answers. I know y'all can't do it right now, but like I said, I will be participating in more city council meetings. Hopefully I can get on some boards to help advisory on certain things to have in our community, because we love it over here. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Michael, can you reach out to her or Stephen to the floodplain questions and the setback questions?
And tomorrow night, right here, 6 o'clock, is the Parks Board. So that the best way to get a new park or to talk about park development is through the park planning process.
And then I'll reach out to you about the mud and the HOA questions. We can do that too. All right, thank you so much, appreciate it. Next, please.
Item 5, consent agenda.
Any questions, comments on the consent agenda? Seeing none on my little screen, I'll take a motion, please.
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
All right, motion and a second, please vote. Motion is passing 7-0. Next, please. Oh, I'll just say real quickly, at the will of council, I'd like to move 6B up to 6A. We'll do nominations first, and we'll do 6B, the bond, if that's okay with council. Any objections? All right, so we'll do 6B first.
Item 6B, to discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding appointing a member to the Fayette Municipal Development District Number 1 Board of Directors to serve the remainder of an unexpired term expiring July 2025.
All right, I'll take nominations, please.
I'd like to nominate Cynthia Ferris. Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to point out that we do have the ability to put another council member on there, just saying that according to the bylaws.
But we didn't advertise that, so.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
It's in the
I
bylaws.
was just, we could have up to 2, I think, correct, Michael?
Yes.
Well, let's take nominations.
I was just putting that as a point of information,
I
that's all.
got it. Cynthia Ferris.
Cynthia Ferris.
Who else? Willie, I'll let Willie Rushing, since he's back. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none. We have two, right, Samantha?
Correct.
I almost called you Vicky, sorry. All right, we have two, so you want to read them off, please?
Yes. So we have, you said we had two
Nominations.
nominations. So we had Mark, I only heard, I'm sorry, Mark.
So
Hatley
Cynthia
nominated-
Ferris and Willie Rushing. That's
Okay,
my,
who
it's my num-
nominated Willie? I'm sorry,
I
I missed
did.
it. You did? Okay.
Yeah.
So in alphabetical order, we will go, who would like to nominate Cynthia Ferris?
Let me vote for her.
Vote for her.
All right, raise your hand if you vote for Cynthia Ferris. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess that's a quorum. For next, for Willie Rushing's 2.
All for Willie Rushing, vote.
2. All right, that's 2. So Cynthia is the top vote getter, so we'll take a nomination. Take a vote on the resolution, please.
I'll make a motion that we approve resolution R2025-007, appointing Cynthia Ferris to the MDD.
All right, a motion, a second.
I'll second.
Who did the second? Alan did? Okay. You got that, Samantha?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, please vote. Motion passes 7-0. Next, please.
Item 6A, to discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding all matters incident and related to the issuance and sale of City of Fate, Texas General Obligation Bonds, Series 2025, Ordinance 2025-005.
Raju, I guess it's yours.
Yes, sir. As you all know, 2025 GEO bond issue is underway. One of the most significant step is bond pricing, if you look at the schedule. So we had the bond pricing this morning around 10:30 morning. It's 10 in the morning, and I distributed a handout. So that is summarized. Andre from Hilltop, he's going to take you step by step to the transaction. It's there, okay. Go ahead.
Welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor, Council. Andre Ayala with Hilltop Securities, Financial Advisor. I'm here tonight to talk about the general obligation bond that you have on your agenda. We priced those bonds this morning via a competitive sale. And what I want to do was to prepare a transaction summary and walk you through that, which you should have in your packet, and it's on the screen right now. So what we're going to talk about is the consideration of an ordinance to issue general obligation bonds 2025. So in November of 2024, the voters in Fate approved the issuance of general obligation bonds. So that was approved back in November. We had to go through the canvassing process and then the waiting period, which is 30 days. And now here we are. So we started working on this transaction back in December of 2024. And the schedule called to have the bond pricing this morning at 10:30 in the morning. It was a competitive pricing, meaning that we allowed everyone that wanted to get a hold of those bonds to bid on those bonds. And whoever provides the lowest interest cost would win the transaction. This bond is a 20-year transaction. The payments on the bond are not until fiscal year 2026, so there is no impact on the current budget. You will have to consider payment of this bond and setting the appropriate tax rate for the payment of those bonds when you go through your fiscal year 2026 budget. Okay, so the first thing that I want to touch on is the city went to the rating survey. The city has a relationship with Standard & Poor's, who has been rating the city's bonds for quite some time now. We went through that process, working with your city staff, city manager, finance director, and the city achieved a AA rating, which is an affirmation of where you were before, with a stable outlook. A few points that I want to point out are on the handout is that you have very positive general fund trends, so there is no issue there whatsoever. They pointed out very strong reserves here for the city. They look at your policy of 120 days worth of operations, and they deem that as a very strong policy in their view. They talk about the pension plan being very well funded and not really impacting your budget, or they don't foresee an impact on the city's budget. And they like how the city does things. So how the city's managed, how they do the budget, how they are very detailed about the reports that you get, et cetera, et cetera. So I just want to make sure that you see that. The upside scenario that they told us about is just a diversification of the tax base, and we're heading there. So they recognize that we're getting more commercial properties here in Fate, and we're diversifying our tax base, but we're not quite there yet. So that's why they decided to give us an affirmation of our AA investment grade rating, which is a high investment grade. And as you continue to see diversification on your tax rate, there will be upward pressure on your rating, all else equal. Now, this morning, as I said, at 10:30 in the morning, we opened bids. It is quite uneventful now because it's all online, not faxes or sealed bids like it used to be. And I'm very pleased to tell you that you received 12 bids for the bonds. Normally, you don't see that many, but we saw a lot this morning in spite of the markets reacting a little bit to what happened over the weekend with the trade policy. Initially in the morning, interest rates were going down, then they came back up, so we ended up pretty much where we ended on Friday. But I think that you were very, very fortunate to get all these bids. I'm not going to read them all because there are a lot of them. I will tell you that the lowest true interest cost was proposed by Bank of America, one of their branches, BofA Securities in New York City, came in with a true interest cost, and this is a fixed rate, council, for the 20-year bond of 3.7858%. If you look at the cover bid, it was very close, meaning this was a true competitive process. BOK Financial Securities here in Dallas, they proposed a 3.7939 and so on. 11 out of the 12 bids were under 4%. And as you can see in your handout, they were all very close to each other. So congratulations on that. Obviously, our recommendation as your financial advisor would be to consider Bank of America Securities bid as the best bid for the bonds because it is the lowest interest cost. Now, as I mentioned, this bond is going to finance $20 million worth of public safety projects. It is a 20-year bond. The repayment is fiscal year 2026 all the way through fiscal year 2025. The bonds can be called or taken away from the investors as early as February 15 of 2024. So if interest rates are lower at that point in time or the city just has surplus cash, you can take those bonds away from the investors. Again, this was a competitive sale process. This will be a Texas Attorney General reviewed bond.
Andre,
So
you meant 2034.
2034, yep. Sorry, I apologize. A competitive process, subject to AG review and approval. So that happens in the month of February before we can close. We'll have the approval of the AG's office. We don't foresee any issues there. And you can see the sources and uses of funds. The final bond amount, council, is $18,830,000. Why is that less than 20? Because our bonds sold at a premium. So the bond underwriter, in this case, BofA Securities, they're proposing that they will buy your bonds at about 107 cents on the dollar. Why is that? Again, as I mentioned, Fate is a high investment grade issuer, so those bonds are sought after, especially now that the markets are a little bit turbulent. So when turbulence happens, people will go to safety, and Fate is considered a safe investment. So people are willing to pay a premium for those bonds. So the face amount of the bond is going to be $18,830,000. It will finance your $20 million project and pay for the financing costs associated with the transaction. Now I want to go through the final statistics, council. I put a table in there where I show what the budget and the plan was when you called the election in the summertime and up to now. So the $20 million doesn't change. The city still finances $20 million worth of public safety projects. The interest rate that was budgeted back in the summertime was 5%, and we're going to end up at 3.79%. So that's about 120 basis points less than our budget. The average annual payment that we had budgeted in there was about $1,611,000. The average annual, and this is fixed, if you approve it, is about $1,460,000. So that's about $150,000 less per year than our budget. The total debt service payments are roughly almost $3 million less than our budget. So if you leave this bond outstanding for 20 years and you never refinance it, you never prepay it, you just leave it there for 20 years, we would be paying $29.2 million worth of debt service for that bond. The tax rate impact that we had budgeted was 4.79 cents. With these new numbers, we're down to 3.93 cents. So that's about 0.86 cents less than what we thought. The average impact on a homestead in Fate, and this is using 2024 data, which was certified. We don't have 2025 data. Was $160.57 back then. With these numbers, we're down to 145.71 cents per year. On a monthly basis, this goes from $13.38 per month to $12.14 per month. And those numbers would be obviously a variable as you get your 2025 certified values from the appraisal district. Now, for those that are mathematically inclined, I just included a debt service schedule in there. I'm not going to go through that, just so that you can see how our payments are going to look fixed if you approve it tonight. And then the next steps, council, if you approve this ordinance, our bond attorneys will take everything to the AG's office in Austin. Again, we don't foresee any issues there, and we would be ready to close the transaction on February 27th. At that point in time, funds are wired to the city's account for the projects. With that, Mayor, Council, I'll take any questions you may have.
Scott, you have a question?
Just on the callable part of the note, more curiosity on my part than anything, but 2034, when we've got the ability to call the note, if we're in a more favorable rate environment and want to reissue the debt at a lower rate, what is kind of the break-even rate on reissuing a new note and doing that? How much lower would rates have to be in order for that to be favorable for the city?
Sure. So in 34, let's assume that, interest rates are lower. The way that we would look at that, Councilman, is we would run the numbers and give you a debt service savings schedule per year. So every year, we want to see positive savings first and foremost. And then what the government, the GFOA recommends is that we present value those savings, meaning that we attach a discount rate to that. And if we get at least 3% present value savings, that is what is considered a good refinancing of those bonds. Now, in 2034, we have coupon rates that are between 4% and 5%. So I would assume that for that to be in the money, we would have to be looking at three and so for us to exercise that call option.
So less than 100 basis point difference from where we're at today?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Alan, any questions?
No questions, thank you.
Mark? Lance? I know.
Well, I have some questions just regarding the project, not necessarily concerning the bonds. So once the funds are wired to the city on the 20th, what's the timeline on this? How long is it going to take to do the construction? When is it going to be completed? What are the first items to be purchased? When are they going to be brought into the city?
Would you like us to, we can send you a memo tomorrow with all that?
You can send a memo. I'd like to see.
I can try to answer a few of those questions. So the first thing we're going to do is, of course, we have to receive the funds. We got to go to closing, receive the funds. Once funds are in the bank, then our first thing that we're doing is the fire truck. So we've got to get the ladder truck ordered. It's going to take a couple years, maybe a year and a half. We've got the pumper truck on the way, so we did the pumper truck with cash in the summer, but we need to order the ladder truck. That's about $2.3 million. So we'll get the ladder truck ordered probably the first meeting in March. So in between, just to back up on the bond, on the building process has already started. Chief, last couple weeks was entertaining architects, visiting the site and looking at plans and so forth, or the ideas. Steve, we've got how many RF responses? 14? 17. So we've had 17 architects submit for their qualification statements. We've got those put in a folder, so we are reviewing those this week. And we've got a little committee that we've put together here at the city of staff members, and we're going to be going through the shortlisting, the architects, interviewing architects, selecting the architect. We'll be bringing you an architect's contract with a negotiated rate with the architect, and so that will begin the design process. Probably, Steve, you want to come? March 3rd, okay?
That was our target to bring to the council, March 3rd.
We think we're on target right now for March 3rd architect's contract and selection, and then design begins 9 months-ish.
Yeah.
Yep,
Probably, yeah.
maybe longer.
9 months to get the design.
Oh, Steve, yeah, you want to come up to the podium? So
Yes,
folks
Steve, I was gonna have
so
to
the
bring
folks
you
at
back
home
up.
can hear you?
All right.
I was going to make
Yep,
sure to
yep.
come up and talk, Steve, because,
Yeah, so once we make this selection on March, we'll start design, so probably 6 to 9 months, I anticipate for that. Then we'll go to bid 30 to 90 days to get our bid, get the contractor on board, and then go from there.
So you're talking a year to start construction,
And then a year to finish.
a year
A year.
At least a year. to
Yeah, at
finish.
least a year,
Yeah, sure.
maybe a year and a half.
So, and then we're talking 6 months. So you're, before anybody can even move into that building, we're talking 3 years. 2.5 to 3
2.5,
Two-
yeah,
yeah.
2.5 probably.
Yeah, I'm hoping it moves faster.
And we've got, of course, then the bond also includes the
Yeah.
putting in service the South Side Fire Station. So we've got a business in there right now. We'll keep them in there as long as practical. And then we've got to renovate the South Side Station. Of course, we've got to time that with the firefighters' arrival, so we've got to go through the operating budget process for that. And then we've got some renovations of the existing station.
Yeah,
Once
downtown.
we can get the folks out of the admin office and into the new police station. And then we'll be able to rent the building, the other half. So we've got 4 checks. We own that building. We rent to 4 checks. So we'll be able to put a new business downtown in that other space and
So
get some rental
I'd like
income.
to see a detailed project plan for this.
Can you do that, Steve, in one of our meetings coming up?
Yeah,
I think we've got something that we can modify and
Yeah.
add some detail to.
you bet. Yeah, we can
Yeah.
do that.
So
Yeah.
paper-
Just some major milestones. for
Sure.
sure.
Oh,
When-
absolutely.
When things are going to be purchased,
Yeah,
when
some
they're going to get
targeted-
delivered. Because, I mean, we're already, we're going to take 18 point whatever million dollars that we're going to start charging citizens for right away, and we're not going to see really
Well,
benefits.
technically next year's tax bill.
Well, I get it, but it's going to start, the interest is going to, it's going to hit them, this tax bill.
Yeah.
Sure.
This one
So-
coming in the fall, yes.
Right, so I want to make sure that we aren't dilly-dallying and taking forever to do stuff like,
Oh, no, no.
have habits
We're-
of doing.
We're aggressive. No, Steve and I have built,
Yeah.
we built this building and we know how much of a joy it is to build the building. So we are aggressive. In fact, we've
Yeah.
moved our
and I'd
schedules
also,
up.
as part of that, I also want to see a personnel forecast for the number of people that are going to be in that building the day you move in.
I think Chief's working on that.
I still want
Definitely.
to see it as
Yeah,
part of the
yeah, we'll make
plan,
that part of
right?
that plan. Yeah, sure. We can do that. We can lay out a project scope plan and,
Because I've made,
Or,
I've made no bones about it. I think that this project, 20,000 square feet is an overkill for what we really need. And I get that the police need to have an administration building, but I think it should have been put in and phased in over multiple years, because half that building's going to sit empty for 10 years, right? So if we don't have a plan on how we're going to get staff into that building, I just think it'll end up being a waste of money.
Any other questions?
How transparent is this going to be to the public as it's being built and
so
designed?
of course, all bids and, I mean, everything we do is open.
I mean, is it going to be posted on the city website or?
Yeah, we do
Updated
have
council
our
meetings.
website, we project updates. So, yeah, we'll have that status photos and kind of showing as we go, percentage of construction.
Yeah,
all of
go
those
ahead, city
things.
attorney.
So, Mayor and Council, if we could, I think we're getting a little bit off the topic.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
if, I think what I've heard is 2 requests for future agenda items where they can address all these things
Right,
for y'all.
right. Okay, thank you, Mark.
I do have one other question, directly related. So your average home value that you used on here, what was that value?
So the first debt service will be FY26. So we have to do a projection based on the 25 value. We have 370,247
Is the average home value?
average home value we estimate for next fiscal year.
Okay.
Okay, anything else, Lance, on topic? All right, Cody, Mark, you good? All right, take a motion, please.
I make a motion that we approve, let's see, ordinance number 0-2025-005, authorizing the issuance of the $20 million in bonds.
I have a motion, I have a second.
I'll second.
Any more discussion that's on topic? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 7-0. Next, please.
Item 6C, to discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding ordinance number O-2025-006, ordering and providing notice of a joint general and special election to be held on May 3rd, 2025.
Actually, this is the city attorneys.
Sure. You may do that.
So it actually was a group effort, I will say. But
And Vicky's sick, but she's probably watching.
Mayor and council, before y'all is an ordinance that calls the general election and the special election for the charter amendments. And so the ordinance tried to capture y'all's discussion from the last meeting, and hopefully did, for the propositions for the charter language, and I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay. Any questions from council? I see no question from council. I'll take a motion, please.
I'll move that we pass ordinance number 2025-006, ordering and providing notice of a joint general and special election to be held on May 3rd, 2025.
I second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, please vote. Motion is passes 7-0. Next, please.
Item 6D, to discuss, consider, and take any necessary action regarding ordinance number 2025-007, making revisions to the Home Rule Charter to correct errors in spelling, grammar, and other matters related thereto.
So Mayor and Council, as y'all know, the current charter allows you to make changes for errors, and so the ordinance before you has got 3 very minor errors and that we thought would be good to correct prior to it going to election. And so I can run through those, but they're reflected in the attached ordinance.
All right, any question from council? Seeing none, I'll take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance number 02025-007.
Motion, I have a second. A motion and a second. Any further discussion on this item? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 7-0. Next, please.
Item 7, Mayor, Council, and City Manager reports.
Cody, you want to start us off? And that's Smoky Bear today.
I literally have nothing, other than I do think we ought to have music before the city council meeting starts, but other than that, I have nothing.
Only the Twisted Sister. Okay, Mark.
Just wanted to say, welcome to the city to Red Dirt Social. They had their grand opening today, ribbon cutting. And you guys should just stop by and check that out. It's very yummy. Had breakfast there on Saturday, and continue to support our local businesses. Thanks.
Mr. Kelly. Mr. Allen.
Yeah, just to echo that, Red Dirt Social opened, and it was phenomenal. It just shows just the real fortitude of our small businesses and putting everything they have into this place. And I encourage everybody to take a look around at our small businesses and use them whenever possible. Thank you.
Mr. Hatley.
I'd like to thank the city DPS and the city staff for everything that they do. I wanted to thank Daniel Otten and Willie Rushing and Cynthia Ferris, for, of course, and congratulations for being voted onto the board. And thank you to Daniel and Willie for applying. Hopefully we can get a lot of good qualified candidates to show up and get involved in the boards. I think that's important.
Mr. Lance.
Thanks to city staff, DPS, for everything you guys do. Keep up the enforcement on traffic. I like it. A lot of the departments don't get enough recognition. The building inspectors, the building inspection, the water, public service, or public services. You guys all do a phenomenal job. Congratulations to the finance team for another award. We continue to show excellence in city finances and transparency. It's something that every citizen should be proud about, that our city actually takes the time. And you can see that it's reflected in the bond information that was presented tonight. On one of the reasons why we get such a good bond rating is because of our policies, because of the fiscal policies, because we continually insist that we maintain a reserve, and that just is a reflection of good city management. So we appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I'd like to echo Lance's comments. Raju, congratulations. You guys did a wonderful job. But also the fact of the bond rating and the low interest rates we got and the tax impact is clear indication how well this city is run, despite some people's comments. Number 2, we need to shop local, literally. Making comments on social media disparaging businesses is not helpful to us, so let's make sure we do a good job on that. And DPS, thank you as always. Thank you, great job. You guys are doing a great job. That is it. Next, please. Oh, Michael, I'm sorry. Hey, Michael, you get all this praise tonight. Just
okay.
say thank you.
That's fine. No, thank you. Yeah. All right.
Well, there was.
Parks Board is meeting tomorrow night at 6 p.m. If you love park stuff, all sorts of good things happen at the Parks Board. And then, I know ZBA doesn't see action a lot, but they will on Thursday. If you're interested in the Zoning Board of Appeals, they are meeting on Thursday at 6 PM. And that's it, sir.
Okay, Ms. Samantha, you're up under pressure to get us out of here.
Item 8, adjournment.
All right, motion,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
vote. Motion passes 7 to, oh my God, I'm sorry. Motion 6-1 with Councilman Kelly having to abstain again. Thank you.